Yo, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? My name is Doodles. Now, Pokemon Unite came out a few days ago and is essentially Pokemon's answer to League of Legends. It's a MOBA game which features sort of 5-on-5 PvP battles with your favourite Pokemon, and on the surface that sounds incredibly fun. Well, it would be if there wasn't predatory monetization practices going on in a game that's marketed towards children. So we're going to deep dive into all of this today. Hopefully you guys go and enjoy it. If you do, slap a like on the video, subscribe with those notifications on, and then yeah, let's talk about this. So I wrote an article about this on my website, theclick.gg. I'll leave links in the description box, so make sure you go and check it out. It's my website. I spend a lot of time on there. I don't upload as much on YouTube these days because I'm so busy with that. We've been seeing like really incredible growth recently. Like, we've been sort of growing at a really fast rate, so I've been putting a lot of effort into that, and that's obviously where most of my content is nowadays. But I still like to come back to the YouTube every now and then, and I'm hoping to eventually be able to fix my sleeping pattern that got kind of messed up last year, and hopefully sort of just become a streamer on YouTube so I can still do the content creation stuff on the Click and the Click YouTube channels and that, because we've just started them up, so make sure you go and subscribe to them as well. But yeah, I wrote an article about this. I use this Reddit post which we're going to look into as the sort of basis of my article. This developer goes into details about the monetization practices of the game and obviously why it is wrong. And now, I've been meaning to go and play Pokemon Unite since it came out, but like I said, the growth on the Click has been absolutely crazy, so it's kind of been pushed back a little bit. But I'm going to be writing a review of it on the Click as well, so obviously if you want to hear my thoughts on the game once I get around to playing it, make sure you go and check that out. But on this Reddit post, it is titled, "Please be very mindful of the predatory monetization in Pokemon Unite." Now, the poster prefaces that he is a free-to-play mobile game developer. Obviously, we don't know whether that is true or not. He didn't provide any evidence of games that he's produced, but he says that he is, and we'll just kind of take his word for it. But it's kind of irrelevant to the story anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But obviously, he just gave a little bit of context to why he understands what is going on. But he says this game is way off balance, like in a concerning and highly predatory way. There are currently 5 monetization strategies at play, which you usually only ever see a combination of 2 at a time in other games, specifically MOBAs. Now, when it comes to Pokemon Unite, the monetization practices are cosmetics. So that is like skins, like sort of similar to what you see in games like Fortnite. You buy different sort of outfits for those characters. And you've got battle pass levels. So this game has a battle pass. It would be like a season battle pass, maybe every 3 months or something like that. A new season will come out. You've got gacha increases. Now, I don't have much experience with this, but I know in Genshin Impact it uses the same thing. So you sort of buy wishes in Genshin Impact and then use them to try and pull certain characters. So I imagine it's going to be a very similar sort of mechanic in this game. You've got character purchases where you can just flat out just purchase a character. So say, I don't know, for example, you want to buy Pikachu, rather than trying to pull him out of a reward, you can just sort of just buy Pikachu and just be done with it. Or there's actual gameplay boosts and items. Now, this is the pay to win mechanics, because these are the items that you can purchase to give yourself a competitive advantage over other players. He goes on to say, so what does this mean? Well, you can play for a bit and enjoy it as the game is extremely fun, but you will quickly realise that those items I mentioned above are tide turners. They increase your damage percentage, your movement speed, your healing output and received, pass and healing ticks and more. They are literal pay to win and can be spent on with real money to increase their power. The main issue here is after the welcome campaign is done, the unlock progress is glacial. You will spend months unlocking 1 or 2 characters at a time, as the feeder currency is really low. And even further, the feed of hard currency is non-existent. I have played 15 games so far and received 0 gems for any part of the experience, and enough soft currency to buy just 1 character. Now, obviously, you know, with the amount of Pokemon in the game, I don't know how many are actually in Unite, but I imagine it's going to be quite a lot of them, because each one of them is an opportunity to monetize the game further. So I imagine a good chunk of the Pokemon from the series is going to be in the game as well. And there's like over 800 at this point. So yeah, there's a lot of potential money to be made. Now, he says, be very cautious here. This game is not for children and should not be played without an adult conscious of finances and how monetization works on a baseline. I would highly suggest you do not support this game until they resolve their deeply predatory monetization schemes. This is a very heavy step for Nintendo to take, as even their other Switch-based MOBA game, Arena of Valor, which I did play, and it was, MOBAs aren't really for me, but that's not really the point of today's video, is not this heavily monetized. I'll admit that it's not far off. It's quite sad to say that they are putting the Pokemon brand of the front of such a terrifying, brutal game such as this. And then he goes on to say, I want to add too, as it seems people are quite appreciative of this one, that their strategy is seen in other Eastern developed free-to-players where the pay to win becomes the only option. Early on in the game will be super fun and easy to play, but as people start leveling up their items and leveling up behind you, sort of leaving you behind you'll be blocked out of combat because your item's not strong enough and you will only have the option to spend your money regularly to compete. This is an awful tactic and something that keeps trying to creep into games. Regarding pay to win, you can buy tickets with gems which are then spent on the stat boost items. This is called a 3-step currency and is designed to stop people being able to work out the cost of items easily. We do see this in a lot of free-to-play games. It's another tactic and a very common one. It's why gems usually come in bundles that are never equal to the gem cost of anything in game. It's to deter people from working out the value. Eventually, it allows the seller to generate their own economy and manipulate it freely. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that English may not have been his first language because some of those sentences were quite awkward to read. But you get the point. Basically, Pokemon Unite, especially as it's marketed towards children. Now, I know probably if you're watching this video, you might be like over the age of 18, you might be an adult, you might be into Pokemon. I'm into Pokemon, I'm 31, I'm into Pokemon. Not to the extent that I was when I was 8 years old. I don't sort of play thousands of hours in every Pokemon game. I play the main Pokemon games when they come out, I run through them, do all the sort of story stuff, and then I sort of lose interest in it. I don't sit and play for thousands of hours, but plenty of adults do, and there's nothing wrong with that. But obviously at the end of the day, the game is marketed towards little children. So when you've got a heavily monetized and heavily exploited game like Pokemon Unite that's still marketed at children, because although it's a MOBA, it's basically a MOBA with a Pokemon skin on it, which makes it more appealing to people. Yeah, it's not ideal. The pay to win's obviously the worst one, but like I said before, you can't begrudge people, especially you can't begrudge developers from wanting to make money from the games. Obviously games like Fortnite use cosmetic and battle passes, which are purely cosmetic and they don't have any competitive advantage. They use them to monetize their game, which, considering the amount of content, especially live service games as a whole, the amount of content that they put out, if they're going to release skins in that, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. They've got to make money somehow to keep the game going. Games such as Genshin Impact uses character purchase and gacha pull increases, where you can outright buy certain characters or you can increase your odds of getting one. But obviously the gameplay boosting items is not cool. It is not cool because obviously the match could come down to who's got the bigger wallet, who's willing to put the hand in the pocket in order to get the edge over their opponent. So if you're not willing to do that, which you shouldn't do that in the first place, so if you're not willing to do that, you're pretty much just going to be left in the dust, and then obviously eventually you're going to get that frustrated, you're going to quit playing. Now, I'm not a big MOBA fan. I've played Arena Valor for like a couple of hours. I've played like a couple matches of League of Legends. They're not really for me, but I imagine this one is more like a beginner MOBA, especially being that it's sort of Pokemon skin is aimed at children. So I'm willing to give this one a shot. Obviously, well, I was willing to give this one a shot. It could be an easier access route into the world of MOBA games that I've not been able to get into so far. But obviously, if there's pay-to-win mechanics, I'm not prepared to put my hand in my wallet in order to get ahead in a game that I don't really care about that much. Or I wouldn't do it either way. So I'm probably going to be turned off by this game quite a lot. I might just do like a couple of hours of it just to get the review out, and then that'll probably be like the end of my time on Pokemon Unite. But yeah, I think despite the fact that this has 24,000 upvotes on the Nintendo Switch subreddit, no one's really talked about it yet. Obviously some YouTube videos and some articles might be out there on the internet somewhere, but I've yet to come across them in my feed. I've never come across them in Google and that. And when I sort of put it on Reddit myself, I did post an article that I did on Reddit, and a lot of people were like, well, that's a MOBA game, what do you expect from it? Like, this is exactly what MOBA games are. And well, it's probably a good job I don't play League of Legends then, because I don't agree with this practice at all. So obviously if this is what MOBAs are like, then I don't know why we just roll over and accept this monetization strategy as being legitimate and being something that happens. Pay to win is probably the worst aspect of online gaming. It's part of the reason I don't play Warzone, because although I'm pretty sure some of the skins and blueprints increase your stats and some have better weapons and that, and I sort of feel like that's not cool. That kind of means that you can get a competitive advantage based on how much money you spend on skins and that. Whereas something like Fortnite, despite the fact it just get boring at times, is purely cosmetic. So I can't really like argue too much with that. It's my choice whether I buy a skin. Does it make a difference to anyone whether I buy a skin? I'm not better or worse player because of it, unless you buy one that maybe like exposes your position when you're bright pink or something. But apart from that, they don't offer any competitive advantage. So yeah, games like Fortnite, despite the fact what everyone might say about it, it's pretty much like the perfect online competitive game. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that one here, because like I said, I don't know too much about Pokemon Unite, but I think this is a terrible problem. I think monetization is very predatory in this game. The pay-to-win mechanics as a whole in video games needs to be scrapped. We've been through many awful online practices, maybe usually started by EA, to tell you the truth. Like on-disc DLC in the Xbox 360 era and that, like there were some really terrible monetization practices an exploitation of gamers that was going on in sort of late 2000s. Still carries on now into the 2020s. So yeah, hopefully eventually we can sort of nail this one and get all of this off gaming, because it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. What did you guys think? Have you played Pokemon Unite yet? What do you think of it? Do you like the game? Do you hate the game? Do you like MOBAs? Do you dislike MOBAs? I'd love to know your thoughts, because I have not played this game yet. It's installed on my Switch. I just haven't actually got around to playing it yet, so I'd love to know your thoughts before I actually dive into the game. But yeah, that is going to wrap up this video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, slap a like on the video, subscribe with those notifications on, and like I said, I will leave a link for the Click article that I did down below in the comment section. And also make sure you favourite it, bookmark the website so you could come back to it. We're trying to grow the site and we're having great success so far, but obviously things can always be improved. View articles, read articles, bookmark stuff, share stuff on Twitter, all that good stuff. It really is going to help us grow. My name is Doodles, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.